Hey guys, I've been in a debate on the forums. I'm Burden.
Shouldn't do that over the forum. And I'm serious.
Alright, what's up guys? I am Burden, alongside me is Saris, and today I want to talk about the Mancer build that I had released on our channel. Talking about vampiric life stealing and pretty much you're running full minions and you get tons of lifesteal and sustainability along with a pretty high single target damage. Now, I was on the forums, in the Necromancer forums on the Guild Wars 2 site, talking about what stat choices were best for this kind of build. Now, I chose Clerics, and I got a little bit of resistance from some people who are saying that Clerics, the healing power on Clerics, as far as Necros go, the healing power is not tied into well with the skills or the traits as other classes might be, and Soldiers or Knights stats would be better. So I had time to sit down and think last night about why I think Clerics is better than Knights and Soldiers. Now, I just want to start off the bat and throw Knights out, because I think Knights is a ridiculous choice for the type of builds that I'm going for. I think Soldiers, you can put up a much better argument with Soldiers than you can with Knights. Because with Knight's gear, you're getting power, precision, toughness. Now you have to remember what stats are actually helping this build and actually benefiting your minions. And those two stats are power and healing power. Now with Knights, we only get power, so precision and toughness aren't helping our minions, they're just helping ourselves. And I just don't think that the precision you're going to get on Knights to increase your own personal damage, you're not increasing your minions' damage, you're just increasing your own personal damage. That is not going to out benefit the... you're just going to be losing so much sustainability without having the healing power that the extra damage is not going to be able to replace that. So I'm not... Someone suggested Knights, but I'm not going to consider Knights. But when I think about Soldiers, I had a little harder time thinking about why Clerics is better. Because you can't put a good argument for Soldiers, because you get the extra... Soldiers is power, toughness, and vitality, and Clerics is power, toughness, and healing power. So it's basically what's better, vitality or healing power. With Soldiers, you do get a little bit of extra power, but I don't think, especially with no crit in the builds, that a little bit of extra power is somewhat negligible. You're not going to see a huge difference in damage by having Soldiers over Clerics just from the power. So again, the whole topic is vitality versus healing power using the Minion Master build. And vitality looks great. When you put Soldiers on, you have a huge health pool. You're getting like 6,000 extra health by wearing the Soldiers, and it really does look good. But the problem I have is this. Vitality is almost like the same thing as precision, where it's just helping yourself, and it's not benefiting your minions, and it's not benefiting your build in any way. It has no synergy with the build. And that's where healing power comes into play, because having the toughness and healing power in the Clerics is pretty much the same thing as having the toughness and vitality in the Soldiers, because you might have a higher health pool in Soldiers gear, but you're going to have a lot more health regen through Cleric's gear. So I really don't see a huge difference between having a higher health pool. Basically, it's choosing a higher health pool or having more health regen through your builds. That's the main difference between vitality and healing power. And as you look through the traits, Saris, this is the biggest argument I have with healing power, is that healing power not only gives you the same sustainability as Soldiers does, it not only gives you incredibly more sustainability than the Knights does, along with the same... I would say that Knights does do more damage, but you're not going to have anywhere near the sustainability that Soldiers or Clerics would have. And I don't think the damage is anywhere near more. It's not enough to choose Soldiers over Clerics just for the extra damage. And I could say that maybe the sustainability of having Soldiers and Clerics is about the same, just they depend on doing it in different ways. But when you look at healing power and vitality, healing power actually affects your minions and affects the synergy of your build as well. It affects Full of Life, the minor trait. You gain regeneration when your health drops below the threshold, which is 90%. So once you get to 90%, you're gaining 6-second regen. Transfusion, this is probably one of the biggest arguments I would make about healing power. And transfusion scales with 100% with healing power now in the changes at the October 15th patch. This means when your minions are getting low in PvE and PvP, you can go to Death Shroud and use your life transfer, and you'll be healing your minions for over 5,000, all of them. So it's a good way to keep up your minions, where Vitality's not giving you that. A Vampiric Siphon Health whenever you hit a foe, it's giving you more healing power, or more healing per hit there, giving you more healing in the Life Siphon healing with Vampiric Master, which is each minion, and then you multiply that by 5 minions you have out all the time, and even more than 5 minions in PvE most of the time because you have the Jagged Horrors running around. But back me up here a little bit, Cyrus. Well, what do you think are the better stats for the build that I currently have? Clerics.
I think Night Scare is good. You should go Night Scare.
I'm gonna slap you.
I think what?
Why? So why do you think Knights is better?
Don't. I'm kidding.
If you're gonna lie, you need to keep going with it. You can't just stop.
I can't do that. I just can't do it. I'm not a natural liar.
Yeah, right. That's a lie right there. You're
That's
pretty good at it.
Maybe I'm just that good at lying that I have to lie about other things.
So what
My
do you think
suspicion
about the whole stat debate that I was having? So what do you think would benefit a power Minimancer build more, clerics or soldiers? I think we could both agree that knights isn't nearly as effective as either soldiers or clerics. But do you think the changes to the life stealing thing and things like that in the last patch actually makes clerics more viable than soldiers now?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because I haven't tried soldiers out. I have to actually go and actually use soldiers and see how I feel about it. That's how I do things. I don't really we go by feel most of the time when I'm making a build. To just if it doesn't feel right, then I'll have to change things up. I can probably work out to have something mathematically good, but I've always got to see how things play out in actual usage in themselves. Because you do get a lot of outside variables when you're doing PvP and stuff that you can't just mathematically like guess them. You can't just say, oh, right, there's going to be this and this all the time.
Right.
It's not always going to happen.
Are you saying you don't know, or are you saying you don't think so?
I'm saying I'm not 100% on. Oh my god, what the hell was that? That was my door.
It's me creeping in.
I wouldn't really make a
soldiers,
forceful choice on them.
Huh? But wouldn't you agree that healing power overall has much more impact on the build as far as traits and skills and all of that goes? Whereas soldiers does. If you go soldiers, the vitality's not offering your builds anything. It's just offering yourself a bit of a larger health pool. But it's not building into the synergy of the build. Whereas healing power...
that way is true. But then again, you've got another way to look at it is that if quite often you'll have the focus of the enemy on you instead of your minions, so your transfusion doesn't really help you as much when that's happening. Because you can't exactly heal yourself with transfusion unless you run out of life force in the middle of the cast. That's the only time you get the actual heals from it. Otherwise, it doesn't heal you yourself. It's part of the scaling gone.
Right.
In the end,
but if they're attacking me instead of my minions, it's going to take them a very long time to kill me.
That's true.
Because my minions are siphoning the health. I mean, I'm getting a lot more health than a soldier's would. Soldier stats would with my minions hitting. So if they're not taking my minions down, then I'm getting that much more health. I can see soldiers helping out when your minions die. Then you still be somewhat defensive. Clerics is very defensive when your minions are up. But when the minions start going down, then you start losing that sustainability. Where maybe soldiers would always have like the same amount of sustainability. Well, let us know what you guys think for a Minimancer build, and give us some reasons. I love debating about things like this, especially with just the philosophy of how classes and builds should work, and just the overall design of builds. But make sure if you're gonna argue a certain point that you bring up some reasons why, and then we can have a good debate about it. Just make sure we're having friendly debate. Don't get angry or start raging down in the comments below. I don't want to see any fights happening. Or I will pull this car over right now. Anyway, I've been Burden, and this is Saris, and thank you for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribing, favoriting, and liking this video. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.